Barker. Lorne has been a Toastmaster for the past 5 years. He has his Advanced Communicator Bronze and his Advanced Leader Bronze certifications. Lorne's goal is to complete his Advanced Communicator Silver before February. This speech is from the Advanced Manual Storytelling and is the 5th and final project for him in the manual. The project is bringing history to life. The timing is 7 to 9 minutes. And the title of Lorne's speech is, "You Can Do More Than You Think You Can." Welcome, Lorne Barker.
You can do more than what you think you can. Almost 4,000 years ago, in the land of Manasseh, there lived a young man named Gideon. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our most welcome guests. Gideon lived in a country that was under the domination of a neighboring country, Midian. Midian had ruled over Gideon's people with an iron fist for 7 years. So much so that a feeling of lassitude had gathered over the countryside. The people lived in caves, in forts, anywhere that they could find a safe spot. And every time they tried to plant crops, the Midianites would destroy the crops. The Midianites would destroy everything that they tried to do. They stole their cattle, their oxen, their donkeys. And when the Midianites came into the land, it was like a swarm of locusts with cattle and camels, too numerous to mention, too numerous to even count. One warm fall day, Gideon was hiding in a wine press. You see, he had gathered up some wheat stalks on the side of the road. He gathered up that were growing wild, enough so that he could make a little bit of bread. And he was threshing the wheat while hiding in the wine press, when suddenly there was a bright light and Gideon was blinded. It was his guardian angel. And the guardian angel said, "Gideon, why are you hiding? You are a mighty warrior." And Gideon stammered and said, I think you must have me mistaken. You see, I'm from the smallest clan in the land, and I'm the youngest son with the least influence. The angel said, "No, I have picked the right man to deliver his people. You are going to deliver your people from the Midianites." Gideon said, "You will have to show me your strength for me to follow you." And the angel said, "Well then, bring me some meat. Bring me some bread." And Gideon did just that. He put it on a rock in front of the angel. The angel said, "Pour broth all over it. Get it nice and wet." Gideon did that. The angel reached over and grabbed a stick, touched the rock, and the meal was consumed by fire. And the angel disappeared. Gideon didn't know what to do. First of all, he was frightened. Second of all, he was ashamed because he didn't feel that he was man enough to do what the angel had said, lead his people. Well, a few days went by and Gideon just crept back into his normal little hiding spots in his normal little life. And suddenly the angel appeared to him again. The angel said, "Gideon, you have a strength within, and you will lead your people." Again, Gideon said, "I need a sign. How about if I take some fleece from a sheep? I will take this fleece and I will put it on the winepress floor. And in the morning, if the fleece is wet, and the winepress floor is dry, then I'll follow you. The angel said, so be it. And the next morning when Gideon got up, went to the winepress, and sure enough, that fleece was soaking wet. So wet that he wrung it out into a bowl, and the bowl was filled with water. The angel said, now will you follow me? And Gideon said, please don't be impatient with me. But tomorrow, if the fleece could be dry, and the floor wet, then I'll follow you. The angel shuddered and shook his head and then nodded. And sure enough, the next morning, that fleece was bone dry and the floor was completely wet. The angel said, now I will share my plan with you. And he began to share with Gideon. Well, within a month, the words that the angel had told Gideon had spread through the countryside. And there were 32,000 men that had volunteered to help fight with Gideon and his guardian angel. Gideon was feeling pretty confident about himself. The angel appeared again and said, Gideon, you have too many men. The plan won't work. Any man that has family at home, send him home. Gideon spread the word and 22,000 men went home. Gideon was feeling a little nervous now about this. The army was much smaller than the Midianite army. The angel shook his head and said, no, Gideon, still too many men. I want you to take all of the men down to the river, and I want you to tell them to have a drink. And those who cup the water and bring it to their lips, while still being cognizant of the enemy and where they could be, keep those men. Gideon did just as he was asked. And at the end of the day, 300 men he had. He was very nervous. The angel then shared the rest of the plan with Gideon. You see, Gideon, I want each one of the 300 men to have a torch and a trumpet and have a clay jar over the torch. Tonight is a crescent moon. It's going to be dark. It will be perfect for our plan. You see, a company of men is 1,000 men. And a captain of a company has a trumpet and a torch. 300 men with trumpets and torches equates to 300,000 in the army. Well, that night, they circled the Midianite camp, the 300 men. And when the angel told Gideon, here's the signal. Gideon gave the signal. They threw off the jars and broke them with the lighted torch, and they blew the trumpet and charged into the Midianite camp. The Midianites saw, in the dark, 300,000 soldiers attacking them, and they scattered, and they killed each other to get away. In the morning, Gideon and his 300 men went through the camp. There was not one Midianite left alive. Not only that, but there wasn't a Midianite to be seen. They had fled the country, whichever one survived. There was enough plunder left over for Gideon and all of his men to collect and to live comfortably with their families for the rest of their lives. And Manasseh lived in peace for generations. You see, Gideon could do more than what he thought he could. Where's your winepress? Where are you hiding, and what are you hiding from? You can be extraordinary, and certainly you can do more than what you think you can. I'm Toastmaster.